Hey everybody, it's Sherri. I come to you this evening with a very special and important message. It's about divination tools. And the reason I'm doing this short video today is to give you guys a brief rundown of the do's and don'ts working with pendulums and certain divination tools. The reason I'm doing this is because it's extremely important right now that people are very careful and cautious. There's a lot of entities out there. There's a lot of negative energy that's looking for people to mess with. Simply put, there's no way to sugarcoat this. That's what's happening right now. And a lot of people are desperate for answers. They're looking for clarification. They're looking for answers. They have anxiety. They're stressed. They're worried. And so they're trying to find answers for themselves using divination tools. And I'm all about empowerment. Everybody should try to get the answers for themselves, but you need to be careful and very mindful of how you are doing it. I have at least 6 or 7 clients just in the past, I would say week or a week and a half, that have contacted me saying that they have been psychically attacked and they have had various things happen to them, as severe as they have been told, and they are hearing voices in their head telling them to hurt their children, to hurt themselves, to kill themselves, to end it all, saying very doom and gloom things to them, making them lose hope, giving them severe depression, giving them fear of not wanting to go to sleep, not wanting to go out in public, that they have been told that their life is going to end in a specific time frame. The world is going to end. That there are archangels that they maybe normally have had spoken with previously, or their spirit guides or their higher self have become angry with them. Okay, these are signs that you need to use discernment right away. There is never an angel or an archangel or a spirit guide that is of the light that would ever in a million years tell you that you are going to die, that you are bad, that you did something wrong, and that they are angry with you. This never, ever happens. So if that's happening to you, you are getting information or messages from something that is not of your highest good. And this is extremely, I can't tell you how important right now, because everybody is looking for their own answers. And I think that you need to know what to do and the do's and don'ts. So this video tonight is me doing the best I can to do a very short video on how to navigate through this time right now and trying to get your own answers through using a divination tool. Now, it's much easier to hack somebody if you use some sort of a divination tool. What I mean by that is a pendulum, dowsing rods, tarot cards, various things like that. Crystals, sometimes people use crystal grids to receive answers and they interpret them. You need to be very careful and very clear. So I'm going to give you 4 or 5 tips tonight to help hopefully clear some things up for you. But your guides would never, ever say anything to make you feel bad, to shame you, or to make you feel like you are a bad person, or they will never be angry with you. They always come from love and light. They always encourage you. They may say that you've done something wrong, but they say it in a way that's very encouraging, and they will never tell you that you're going to die. So please, if that ever happens to you, you need to put the pendulum away, take a break, clear yourself, take a salt bath, and stand in your power, because this is not real. What they're saying is not real. So number one, in anything that you do, always ask for protection. When I teach children all the way to adults, whether I'm teaching pendulum class, intuition, meditation, Reiki, it doesn't matter. Everyone that knows me and has taken my classes, I take protection very seriously. It's number one, and I incorporate it in literally everything that I teach. I don't care how old you are. I might explain it differently to children than I do adults because I don't want to put them in fear. For children, I call it your spiritual seatbelt. Imagine though you're driving a car, you're wearing a seatbelt. So I teach them how to use their spiritual seatbelt, which is a ball of light, or various techniques. For adults, I'm a little bit more clear. So, surrounding yourself in a golden bubble of light. There are certain deities or archangels that you want to call upon, Archangel Michael, God, Christ consciousness, Yeshua, Kuan Yin, whoever you want to call on, you need to be very clear about who you're calling on. And you need to say, this needs to be everybody's favorite word moving forward. Write it down, memorize it, say it all the time. What I'm calling upon Archangel Michael to protect me for my highest good only. I'm calling on my spirit guides for my highest good only. I am using this pendulum today to receive answers and guidance for my highest good only. If you are trying to get information on behalf of somebody, as long as you have their permission, I am seeking answers today for this person, for their highest good only, and for my highest good only, because this eliminates the dark ones from being able to trick you, because they have various ways of getting your consent. But if you're clear in your intention and you stand in your power and say, I am of the light, I am only receiving guidance from my higher self, they cannot mess with you. They will try, but they can't. So you have to be firm in your protection. You need to protect yourself first and foremost. You can visualize yourself in a golden bubble of light. You can take it further and visualize yourself outside of that golden bubble of light is a halo of the violet flame. You can ask for Archangel Michael as well for your highest good. You can ask for your guardian angels for your highest good. And what I recommend most people do right now is take their protection in their own hands, visualize that ball of light within them. Your life force energy is the most important thing you have, and expand it out so it's outside of your body so far that you can't see anything because it's just so bright. That is your protective shield. And I guarantee you, there's nothing of a low vibration that can penetrate through a light body that is powerful, strong, and empowered and sovereign. That is number one. Number two, I'm going to use pendulums tonight as an example. There are different types of pendulums. There are brass ones, there are metal ones, there are round ones, there are crystal ones. There are all sorts of metals. You can use even a pendant, a necklace. But what you need to do is be mindful of how they react. So crystals are very sensitive to the environment and they can shift very easily. They need to be cleared much more often than a metal pendulum or pendant, because they don't absorb the energy as much. You need to understand the type of pendulum you have and how sensitive they are to environmental shifts. We can also control the outcome of our pendulum. I teach this in my classes. You can see it yourself. You can control which direction the pendulum spins. So you want to make sure when you get a new pendulum, whichever one you get, you want to clear it right away. You can put it in I like to put mine in coarse salt and leave it overnight. You want to be careful getting them wet. So you don't want to do salt water, but just coarse salt. Put it in a bowl, leave it overnight. You don't have to bury it, just lay it in there. You can also charge it if you have a nice big crystal, a nice big white crystal or selenite. You can, or selenite dishes or bowls, you can put it in that. You can also charge them in the moonlight. But please clear your pendulum. There are a lot of other ways, but I don't want to make this video too long. I want it to be simple and clear. So you want to make sure that once you've cleared your pendulum, you want to figure out what you need to ask your pendulum a clear yes or no or maybe response. You need to understand what the pendulum is telling you. There are three things that it can tell you. It can be a yes, it can be a no, it can be a maybe. If it doesn't move, it's not giving you an answer. You need to get familiar. You need to hold the pendulum correctly. And there are people out there that are teaching people that the pendulum there's one way a pendulum moves yes, and there's one way a pendulum moves no. That's not true. A pendulum can move for a yes, different for everybody, depending on the person. I even have pendulums that move differently depending on the one I'm holding. So each pendulum you have, you need to ask, what is my yes? Most time it's going to go clockwise, counterclockwise, back and forth, front to back. One of those four options is usually the one that will indicate what your yes is. Once you find that out, you need to ask what your no is. You can check the yeses and nos by saying something true. My name is Sherri, your pendulum, or whatever your name is. It should move yes to whatever your truth statement was. You need to ask what your no is and give a false statement so to make sure that it's correct. Sometimes if your pendulum moves like this, it could be a maybe, but you can also ask what your maybe looks like, and it'll be a third option. If it doesn't move at all, a lot of times spirit won't give you an answer to something and you just move on. So be clear in your intention when you begin. Who are you trying to communicate with? I strongly discourage anybody watching this right now, because times are very interesting and tricky. I really, really strongly encourage that you only ask for answers from your higher self right now. I know that people aren't going to like what I'm saying, but because there's so many people out there that are unsure and new, you only want to ask for your higher self. So your intention is, I'm using my pendulum today to receive guidance for my highest good, for my highest good. I'm sorry, let me start over. I'm using my pendulum today to communicate with my higher self to give me guidance for my highest good only. Let me repeat. I am using this pendulum today to receive guidance from my highest self, my higher self, for my highest good only. Man, say that like 5 times fast. That was a tongue twister. Anyways, so once you have your intention established, then there are more rules. There's a lot of rules. Okay. And it's just for your safety. We want to make sure you're doing it correctly and not causing more trouble for yourself. Don't. These are the don'ts. Do not ask for questions on world events. I'm telling you, there are too many variables and you're not going to get a clear answer, or maybe you will, but that answer could change 10 more times in that one afternoon, and then the next day, a million more. Because there's free will on this planet, there's a lot of variables. And if you're asking about timeframes and current events, you will not get an accurate response because you can't control the outcome. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why so many psychics out there are saying, I can't tell you exactly, I can give you an indication, but I don't know for sure, because there's too many variables, too many players in this game, in this game of reality. So you can't ask a question about, will this person go back into office? Will this person not get in office? Will this person do this? Don't ask. Because you're not going to get a clear indication. And if you get false answers, it's going to take you down the wrong path. Another important rule, do not ask questions on behalf of somebody else without their permission. Don't go out there saying, oh, is my sister-in-law going to get pregnant? Is she going to do this? Or is he going to do that? Again, they have free will and they may change their mind, unknowing that you're even asking, and then the answer could change many times. Do not ask questions for other people, especially if they don't know. There are ethics, believe it or not, when it comes to energy healing, reading tarot cards, and anybody that does it ethically will tell you you have to have permission from people to work on them or to read them. Same goes for pendulums. Do not ask. If you have their permission, then they can be there with you and you can ask questions on their behalf. You also don't for yourself. Don't ask questions that you want the answer to be a certain way. You have to be detached from the outcome. Otherwise, you are likely to sway the answer. We can sway the answer, and you're not going to get an accurate response. You're going to get frustrated. It's going to bring your vibration down. And then if you get frustrated, your vibration is low, you're more likely to attract those entities that are going to try to mess with you. So just be at peace with whatever you get. Detach yourself from the outcome. Ask a few questions that are for your highest good that you need to know, and don't worry about everybody else. Maybe you're not meant to know the answers, and so put it aside. Next one, use discernment. Okay, if you feel like you're getting answers that are wonky, and maybe you've been using your pendulum for years, or maybe 5 months, and you're relatively new, but you're comfortable, and all of a sudden you feel like you're getting answers that don't match what you have previously been getting. Maybe you're feeling angry and agitated all of a sudden. Maybe you're starting to feel funny after you use your pendulum and you're not sleeping at night. And what's happening to some of my clients, where they wake up and they're feeling suicidal. They are severely depressed. They're negative all of a sudden. Everything in their life, their outcome has changed. Maybe they're thinking horrible things about harming other people, that the world is going to end, that they're going to pass away, all sorts of terrible things. And then they're fearful of leaving their home. This is not you. You have now invited an entity into your reality, and now you need to put the pendulum away, put it in salt, stop using it, and you need to clear yourself. You need to take salt baths. You need to stand outside in nature. You need to literally stand in your power and feel your light shine so bright that you push this entity away. You say very clearly and sternly, I do not consent. You must leave me alone. You are not welcome here. Make your auric field so bright that it doesn't want to stay. Listen to harmony type of music, 432 hertz, 528 hertz, because it doesn't like that. Whatever you can do. And if you've exhausted all those options, please put the pendulum and the tarot cards and the tuning forks and the dowsing rods. I think I said tuning forks. I meant to say dowsing rods. Put them away. Don't use them for a while. Take a break until you're feeling very empowered, because I guarantee you, if you go back to the pendulum in fear mode, then you're going to start the process all over again. So be very careful. Use your discernment. Take a break. The pendulum, dowsing rods and pendulums are meant to be a tool, but they cannot overcome your ability to make choices and tap into your intuition. And I teach that in my classes. They're a lot of fun. They're great to have. They're great tools. I used to use my pendulum all the time, and then I just put it away, and I was guided by my higher self that I didn't need it. And you should use them once in a while to check, to make sure. Just check in, but it shouldn't be your main choice of receiving guidance in your life. And then you want to check in once in a while. Perhaps you ask your pendulum, is this advice that I'm receiving, is this guidance that I'm receiving of my highest good right now? Right? If you're getting a yes, then maybe you can move forward. But if you're getting weird answers, it's not moving, it's going, maybe you're getting a maybe, stop right away. This is not the time to experiment. This is not the time to open up your crown chakra and try to let beings in and channel, because there are a lot of them out there, a lot of AI, a lot of negative beings looking to psychically attack people. And then once they have you, then they make you feel awful, and you can even become ill and take it out on other people, and it can really set you back. And that's the last thing we need right now, because everyone should be focusing on the light and positive. And so hopefully this message has been helpful for you today. There are so many more tools and things that you should know, that I did put a pendulum class up on my website for later in the month. If you want to join in, it'll be an hour long, hour and 15 minutes. And I'll try to go over as much as I can, help you answer any questions, give you more guidance. I also, real quick, don't recommend you use the pendulum charts right now. Those are the charts that have all the numbers and all the alphabet and yes and no and not coordinates, percentages. There are various charts you can print online. And the idea is that you hold your pendulum over the chart, and then it will move in a direction until you can get whole sentences, words, names, like a Ouija board. Do not use it. They are wonderful tools, but for right now, if you don't know what you're doing and you haven't been doing it for years, and you know that you're positive that you know what you're doing, I don't recommend you take it out right now. Just try to go with the yes, no's, maybes. Make it simple for yourself. I don't recommend young children play with pendulums right now, nor do I recommend the tarot cards. This is not something I normally say. As you can see on my website, we teach those things to children. But right now, just for the next couple of months, I feel like we need to just lay low and let the children, protect the children, and not allow them to get taken advantage of, because there's just too much going on right now. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I just want to be real. And because so many of my clients have reached out to me, and they literally are at their wits' end, and they are panicked and they don't know what to do, I really felt like I needed to do this video tonight to help any of you listening to this. In case you are using a pendulum for the first time, you heard someone else use it in a video and you wanted to try it out, there are important guidelines to follow, rules, whatever word you want to use, and they're there for a reason. Protection is number one. Use discernment. Be clear in your intention, and always say, no matter what you're doing, that you're doing it and you're receiving or asking for clarification or guidance for your highest good only. That's it. Nothing less. It has to be for your highest good. So I hope that this was helpful for you today. I'll post in the description below the link to take the class. And hopefully, if those of you that want to continue using your pendulum or are new at it, and this hasn't scared you off, you can take the class, and I can try my best to help you out with it. For those of you that are just on the fence, perhaps you just wait and you don't use it right now, and just practice on your self-discernment and centering yourself, balancing yourself, raising your frequency by doing things that bring you joy and love and light, and you'll receive the answers that you need through your intuition. That's it. You don't need all of these other things. So I hope this was helpful for all of you, and I'll be in touch with you again soon.